In this is a video we're going to talk about saving Steve Jobs, Dr. Richard Feynman, and Dr. Carl Sagan, and Jim Henson. First three died from cancer. The other one died from strep A toxic shock syndrome. Okay, this is the main book to beat cancer. It's I already discussed this. I reviewed this book, Patrick Quillen's book, Beating Cancer with Nutrition. And you can see there, and completely revised, includes cookbook. This is a 2005 edition. As far as I know, this is the latest edition that he has. Okay? He's on the internet. So you go and put Patrick Quillen in your Google, and this will kick out. PatrickQuillen.com website. Can you see it? Okay. And in it, he talks about is endorsed by Dr. Linus Pauling, the only two-time Nobel Prize winner. He should have won another Nobel Prize, by the way. He's the greatest chemist that ever lived. And in it, he says in the opening statement, it is not enough for a cancer patient to receive appropriate conventional therapy for his or her disease. To improve quality and quantity of life, a regimen of good nutrition is essential. Dr. Quillen's book should be of value to every cancer patient. Okay, and when you go there, hit home, and then you will get his email address. Can you see it over here? It's right there. This is the main book to save Steve Jobs and Dr. Richard Feynman and Dr. Carl Sagan from cancer. We'll get into the basis of this later. This is something I just discovered a couple of weeks ago. It's a movie about Dr. Burzynski. It's on YouTube, as you can see. Make sure you get that full version, the 1 hour and 48 minutes version of it. Okay? And if you can afford it, please buy the DVD. It costs $13.99 plus shipping. This is the one. This is really a great movie. Dr. Burzynski is a Polish MD, PhD, who discovered that peptides are missing in certain peptides are missing from urine peptides are missing from cancer patients. So he took the urine peptides from healthy patients and put it in the cancer patients, and a lot of them got well. Now, the interesting thing about this story is that when he moved to Texas, and he was getting really good results with a lot of cancer patients. The FDA was alarmed by this, and they tried him 10 times, about 10 times. The FDA and the Cancer Institute of America went after him. Not because, and every time they lost. The jury sided on his side, the judge threw it out, but they still wouldn't give up. So they finally stole his patent on his peptides. It's a very see, you have to understand, in America, the American Cancer Society and the FDA are not interested in a cancer cure. And the reason for that, once they find a cancer cure, they're out of business. The oncologists will no longer be able to afford Rolls Royces and Mercedes-Benz and Harvard College educations, etc., etc. And and summer homes in Florida and everywhere else. So they're making a lot of good money on this. So if they find a cure, they won't make any money. And you have to understand that. Anyway, this is a very interesting movie. You'll find a young child with brain cancer, gets chemo and radiation. The doctor said we can't do any more for her. She goes to Dr. Burzynski and he saves her. Very interesting. Okay. Now, this is also on YouTube. This is Dr. Andrew Saul. Now, when Steve was sick, when he quit Apple, I wrote to him telling him to get a hold of the book, Beating Cancer with Nutrition, Dr. Quillen, I saw you the email already for him. Get a hold of this guy. I already did a review of this book, Curing the Incurable. They're all experts on nutrition-based medicine. Curing the Incurable. You can look at the review on my J. Lovett 7 channel. Anyway, this is another one. I didn't mention this guy, but I should have. This is Dr. Endersall. He's an expert on nutrition-based medicine. He's a PhD in biology. He's a consultant to chiropractors, and he's got three-part videos on this. And this is his website, dryourself.com. Wonderful website, very tremendous amount of information there. He's also called another book called Doctor Yourself. He's got a book called Doctor Yourself, and I would recommend people looking into this. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. Now, one of the things that Steve Jobs consulted was Dean Ornish. Dean Ornish is an expert on heart. He revolutionized by using proper nutrition, he was able to reverse heart disease. But he's not an expert on cancer. And as far as I know, Steve Jobs, what he did was he used macrobiotics, and he had a very slow-growing cancer, as I understand it. So even one oncologist said he had time to experiment with other modalities, with other systems, and it worked. He had the cancer, I think, was first prognosed in 2004. They just died this year, 7 years later. And anyway, we went to there, and he tried that, macrobiotics, and that didn't help him. It helped him somewhat, but not completely. And then he went into targeted therapy with genetic sequencing, I guess. And he was actually able to work it pretty good, to the point where he was one step ahead of the cancer, but eventually the cancer caught up. So it didn't work. Now, we have one criticism of macrobiotics, and that's in this book here. He criticizes macrobiotics. Okay? I'm going to turn the page now. Hold on. And he talks about the pH, alkaline acid part of the body. We'll talk about this in a minute. And he says sometimes the macrobiotic diet does not work in preventing cancer or stopping cancer from growing. And so it's better to use the cookbook in this. This is a cookbook, Beating Cancer with Nutrition. Okay. So make sure. Now we're going to talk about right now Otto Warburg. Otto Warburg. Can you see that? I don't know if I can get this down. I don't know. Professor Otto Warburg received 2 Nobel Prizes in 1931 and 1944 for his work on cell biogenetics. Okay. He did not get those prizes for cancer. Some people are getting that totally mixed up. Okay. Now, we're going to go to Otto Warburg.